Alright, you clicked on this video because you want to set up your server. This will be a short one, but I'll tell you everything you need. I don't want to take too long with introductions, so I'm ghosty and let's get straight into it. The first step is to install a paper server. If you're using a dedicated host, there should be a button somewhere to install it and you can skip to the installing plugins part. But if you are not using those, then you have to go to papermc.io, click the blue downloads button, click on paper and download whatever version you'd like to, which will usually be the one that's recommended in your screen. Then, after that, you have to create an empty folder and throw the file you just downloaded there. You should try opening the file once, which will start creating a few files inside this folder. If it doesn't do anything, or if it opens the file as a WinRAR, then you'll probably have to install the newest version of Java. Once it creates those files you see on the screen, go to eula.txt and change false to true, and then open the paper file again. This should open this screen, which is your server console. You can use this, but it's very common to create a .bat file to run your server without this graphic console, instead using the default Windows console. This .bat also allows you to change how much RAM will be used by the server. If you don't care about this file, just skip to the next part. If you do want to do it, then let me show you how. Open a new notepad file and type this in it, swapping the paper part for whatever is the name of your paper.jar, which is the file you just downloaded. You can swap the 6G part to the amount of RAM you want to run your server on. I'd say that the max recommended amount should be about half your computer's RAM, or about 16, considering you have more than 32 RAM. This should be enough for most servers to run without your computer being absolutely obliterated, assuming there won't be thousands of players on your server. Now, you can go to File, Save As, and save it as run.bat. Make sure to change this to all files and then you can save. Also make sure to save it on your server folder. We've just finished installing your server, and this next part should be way easier to do. For plugins, we usually download them from the Spigot.mc website, but if you're using a dedicated host, there might be a part where you can download plugins directly. You will have to figure that one for yourself. There are other places where plugins can be downloaded from, but many times they'll have a Spigot page that links to it. For example, I'll be installing Denizen, which distributes their plugins on this page. Either case, you can install plugins directly by downloading their .jar and placing them into the plugins folder, right inside your server folder. Once you start your server, it will create all the necessary files inside this folder and you're good to go. The server should already be fully functional, and you should be able to join it. If you're using a dedicated host, it is as simple as finding the server IP, putting it onto Minecraft and joining it. But if you're not using a dedicated host nor port forwarding, there are some steps you and your friends should take. First, all of you need to install Redmi VPN. I mean, not necessarily Redmi, but it is the one most people use. Anything that makes a virtual LAN connection will work. Then, you have to go to Network and create Network. After creating your network, your friends can join it. Now, they can copy your IP or you can send it to them and put 255.65 as the server port. So, this is how your server IP should look. If they're having any trouble connecting, you may need to disable your firewall, and I believe there are ways to do that only for Redmi specifically, but I usually just disable it as a whole. So, your friends will use the IP we just got, and you can just use localhost in the direct connect section. After joining, you can type OP your name in the server console, and now you can use commands freely. Alright, the server is fully set up, and you can go play. Wait, don't leave yet. If you've watched a few of my videos, you might know I have made changes to the game once or twice using plugins. If you haven't seen them, then go check them out, they won't disappoint. Well, here's how you can install those extensions I made. You first go to the original video and then download the file in the description, which should have only a few folders inside it. Each video will also require a few plugins, which will also be in the description. Then, inside your server folder, just paste the plugins folder, which should merge your already existing plugins folder and the one with the extension. Okay, done! Be aware that some extensions may not be compatible with each other, although there should be no big glitches happening, just slight inconveniences. For both the scripts I've already done, the extra enchantments and the PvP ones, I'll be also updating their descriptions so you can go and download it. Oh, do you not know what I'm talking about? Well, click on one of those two on the screen. That was it for me. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one.